Hi, Mark.
Hi, Katrin.
So this time our stream is in English,
Mhm.
so I will adjust a bit our monitors here. And yeah, um, what is our topic today?
Yeah, today is Microsoft Fabric our topic, since Fabric is GA since last week after the Ignite conference or during the Ignite conference.
Yes. So very big news here. So let's dive directly into it. I guess we don't need a introduction, so everyone should know Mark and me. If not, go on LinkedIn. You should. So
You'll find out for sure.
let's start with our with the blog. So everyone who's not familiar with the Fabric blog, I will put in the link in the chat, so everyone can go there and check out the news from the Ignite. And I guess there were over 100 news, not only for Fabric and Power BI, but in all of, also in conclusion,
In
there
total
were
for
more.
the data platform,
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
overwhelming, so many updates.
So one person tweeted, I counted over 100 new
Mhm.
features or something, and I thought, okay, he counted really everything. Okay, good. So let's take a quick view over the new blog post from November 2023. So we have the core components, we have Power BI, some very cool news here. We will go through it in a minute. We picked the best out and we'll explain it a bit more. We have some thing in the modeling area, in the service, visualization, other signups. We have data engineer here, this data science, and so on and so on. And if you go through it, you see this is a lot of stuff to take, and that's why we break it down to the interesting features we think
Mhm.
are interesting. And I would say, Mark, it's your stage. You can start.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for the mirroring, that's one of my key features I like to see, and it was a very surprise for me. Microsoft integrated mirroring in Microsoft Fabric, since mirroring is something new. Some of you who longer time in data warehousing might know it as change data capture, since mirroring supports several database technologies, also non-Microsoft database technologies as a data source, and copies the data to OneLake, which means if you have updates on your source database and you want to keep your data on OneLake in sync with database, it's possible. So you can configure time frame and the data gets updated. You don't have to build pipelines, ETL, something like that. Don't need third-party software. It's just going into OneLake, and then you can use it either on everything which is conform with a link. So you can use a warehouse, you can use Power BI, any other tool you have on the platform. And this is really cool since we just have integrated staging.
And
So I like
is it available in Pro?
I guess this is a premium feature. So I didn't look up whether it's really a premium feature, but I would be very surprised if it's a pro feature, since in the past CDC was also an enterprise feature on SQL Server. I'd guess this is a premium feature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and finally, if we keep in stage in the baseline in the warehouse and in the SQL part, we also now have Direct Lake on the warehouse data set. Um, Maybe most of you didn't see it yet. So, what's the difference between Direct Lake or different technologies? So we had a lakehouse, and we still have lakehouse for sure for everything with Python and so on in the service. And this is the lakehouse service. At first, Microsoft published the Direct Lake mode. In the last months, all demos have been on the warehouse, the lakehouse. And now we also have Direct Lake mode in the warehouse on the data set. So any data we load in the warehouse, we can now load by Direct Lake in Power BI reports or use but in Power BI reports. We don't have to load it anymore. And if you want to check whether your warehouse is really operating in Direct Lake mode, um, here on Catherine's screen, the data is loading node. If the first time always needs a bit. And here we have the model pane. And the model pane, you build your data model relations and you know it, how to do it. And there's also a storage mode visible. As you see, storage mode is Direct Lake. which means the client you use, if it's applicable to Direct Lake, can use it. But be careful, since um, you might be able to break Direct Lake mode. If you, for example, use row level security inside the SQL engine, we have several row of security in this world, or object level security inside the SQL engine, it will fall back to direct query mode. Um, so just make sure if you want to use it, do it on the dataset. Yeah, exactly. Also, we have import mode on OneLake now as a new feature. Um, what does it mean? So if you build an import mode report in Power BI desktop on your machine with Excel files, database data, whatever you import into it, you upload it to the service, you now have the possibility to store this data, which is processed by Power Query to your model on your OneLake, which means you can use it then afterwards in any other engine and not just in Power BI on the report, which is really cool. But be careful also here. If you're looking for the option and you look on your datasets and you don't see it anywhere, just check your connection, since when you just upload the data to the service, it's not yet converted into data packet files. It only happens when the service updates the data. And to be sure this works, you have the connection through a gateway to your local source or just the cloud source, which is natively able to connect. Then the option will show up and you can trigger it on, and so it gets saved on the OneLake. Then you can also see it for sure in the OneLake Explorer on your machine. Yeah, and last but not least, I just talked a bit about RLS. RLS inside the warehouse might break direct link mode, but there's another option. So um, you're not lost if you need RLS. You still can define RLS on your dataset. As you know from Power BI Desktop, it's also possible there to define RLS with data with DEX, and this also can happen on your dataset in the cloud. And when you're building there the RLS, what the engine is doing, you're connecting with your report to the dataset, and it's directly going to the lake, and it's not using the SQL engine. And so we have this index defined RLS expression, and it's working. So
That's
you still
cool.
have the big performance from Direct Lake. Really cool.
And now the last one, the important one from your
Copilot.
side.
Yes, we have
And
Copilot.
and I also I write it wrong. So now this is the right the right name.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Copilot.
without E at the end, the Copilot. And Copilot, uh, you heard maybe a lot of it, and you know, there's some ChatGPT inside it, but it's not just that. It can generate data for you, it can generate processes for you, it can generate reports for you. And if you're looking for it, you must also be sure that you are in an Azure region where you have open AI services available and you're not in the European Union. Since at the moment, unfortunately, the European Union Commission says, oh, we don't trust AI. We just have to make sure that our regulations apply, and we still have to invent new regulations for AI. And so we have to wait until they've done it and see what will be possible for us.
Mhm.
Let's see here. But until then, you can maybe test it on a US tenant, for example, or just look at the videos from Ignite. There's really cool stuff inside.
Yeah, it is, and it's sad that we can't show demo today, but we tried everything, but we can't. So we are in Europe, and there's no chance. Okay, then let's skip to Power BI. So we have some also some cool news here, not only in Fabric. First, the Explorer. It's a preview version. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this Explorer, but it's very new, so maybe not. So let's show let me show what it can. And for this, I will go onto an existing data set, or now it's called semantic layer. So don't be confused if you go into your tenant and there is no data set anymore, because now it's a semantic model. And for this, I can go here on the three dots beside the semantic layer. And the first option is to explore this data. So now you have it's like an ad hoc analyzer. So you don't need to have a building skills for reports. So you can simply start with analyzing your data. So for example, I would like to analyze my revenue, and I would like to analyze it after, let's say, city. And now I can see here, I have my cities, I have my revenue, I can sort it. So I can see, here, these are my best performing cities. I can also switch it to country because cities are maybe a bit too much here. And then I see, okay, Canada looks very bad, good. So now it's better. Yes, so it's US, and we can here go to add filter, and can go to country, and I can select, for example, US, and I can select Canada, and I see now my both countries here. I can also switch to visual view. I can see here, okay, I have my bar chart, and I see US and Canada in comparison. I can switch the view, and after this, I can save it. I can save it also as report if I want to use it as report. I can also use it as report if I save it as report. Then I can share it. So very simple. I click on share. This one will be saved as exploration item, artifact, whatever you call it. And after this, I can send it to Mark, and Mark can analyze it further. So if you want to know more about my data, he can go in to it and make his own ad hoc analysis. I like this feature. It's very cool.
Thank you very much. Now I can also do some testing on it.
Yeah, and you see here, this is the exploration icon. So we have here now a new artifact, these spyglasses, I guess it's called. And yes, so that is the explorer. As next, we have the DAX credit view, which should be a feature release itself for another month, maybe, because this is so big. It is going under all these fabric announcements, because this is really cool. So if you go into your Power BI desktop, it doesn't work with direct link. We tested it already, but it works with this is an import model, so you can see here on the right side my data, and you see on the left side we have a new layer, which is the DAX layer. And in this, I can, for example, go here, click my data on the right side, go on quick queries, and, for example, show me the top 100 here, and I see here my data. I can also watch my queries. I can define and evaluate it, can run it, and see here the results. And so you have many possibilities here, which is really cool, because you don't need an additional tool anymore. So you can tell me if it's good or bad, but I like it. So, and also the calculation groups are now available in Power BI Desktop since last month. So if you didn't test it now. It's also a really, really cool feature. And then we have the new advanced slicer for all report builder outside here. We have these new card or slicer. It's a slicer. So, for example, if I delete these both, because this is already the advanced slicer, so I can go here on slicer new, and then I can put in my manufacturer, and I can also put under reference labels here. I can put in my pictures. Let me see. There, pictures, not reference labels. I'm on the wrong way here in this one. So now, and now you can see here I have my pictures into my slicer, and if I click on it, you see it filter down my card, which brings me to the next feature, the reference labels. So now we have the reference labels, and for this, you see here I delete this filter, and you see here the difference between the normal card and the advanced card. So in the advanced card, you have now the reference label, yes, and you can click on it, and I will delete this, and now I will put in this again, and you see now we have here our percentage growth. So you can put in as much label as you want, if it makes sense, of course, but and I guess this is a really great additional feature, because otherwise, before we have to find some workarounds over the layout or over the subtitles or over the titles. So it was possible before, but it was a bit more tricky to achieve it. So now we have this, it's much easier now. Okay, I guess that's all. Dataset is now semantic layer. I already mentioned it. And for Power Platform, we have the Power Virtual Agent, which is now Copilot Explorer. So don't search for Power Virtual Agent anymore. It's gone. So yeah, goodbye. And the last thing we have here, if we come, for example, to Power Automate and Copilot, which Mark already mentioned, we have also here the possibility to create a flow with a text. So you put in your prompt, for example, create a flow from which I can grab data from SQL to SharePoint list. So
there's a typo.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It will fine.
We understood. Perfect.
So it's really cool, and now you can say, okay, this is really what I want, but you can also change it directly. But I like it already, and then I can go on create. And then now you see I have an SQL server in place, so that's why it's refreshing all the time. So, but you see, if you go on next and you have all your connections already, then you get your workspace in which you have your flow and you can adjust it like you want. So no problem. And you see here, I have no connection. That's set, but I guess the point here is clear.
Yeah. This is the first part of Copilot in the cloud we can use now, and just imagine what will be possible in the future. Really cool.
Yeah. And the last one is, of course, we have already now the possibility to make a certificate for Fabric Analyst Engineer. So if someone is interested in, I will put in the link in the chat. So if you want, go through it and learn something about Microsoft Fabric. And I guess that's all. So we have 17 minutes. And, but it is okay. Next time we will go deeper to different areas. So not an overall. So we will pick some things and go through it in detail, I guess. Would make sense, right?
Yeah, and so we can then choose something and have a better demo with more deep insight.
But for this time, I guess this will be enough. And if you have questions, please reach out. We are available on LinkedIn. You can connect with us on LinkedIn or on Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever. Try one channel or put a comment under this video. It's also possible. Okay, I would say that's all. And have a nice day. And we see us next time.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.